So welcome, Links. Tonight, Luke Mund is here with to lead us through a lens into Seesaw, because we have a couple different ways we can see our learning management system from a student view. We do have an app for parents, so parents can see what students are doing in the learning management system, what they're doing at school all day, and then what teachers see. And all three views are a little bit different. And this has come up from teachers and from parents that I'm not quite sure what's going on in Seesaw. And so Luke is one who can see all three views. And so he's going to give us the lens of a student, and then show parents what you'll see on the app. So then we can best support your children as they are working through their learning on Seesaw. So I'm going to let Luke guide us through tonight.
Yeah, thank you. So Luke Mund, and I'm passionate about Seesaw not only because it's my job, but because of my daughter too. And I always think it's fun to hear like the story of Seesaw was some parents that had young kids and they wanted to be able to check in with what's going on in the classroom. And they wanted to be able to see what was going on and then tell their kid, I saw what you did today. And so they would be able to give that feedback. So they see, and then they say, I saw, to their kids, not like the playground thing that goes back and forth. I didn't know the double meaning of that till a few months ago, but I love that like kind of background of that. And as a parent and a coach around this tool, I'm totally drinking the Kool-Aid. So if you don't have the app, I highly suggest it. And I also suggest that you have the student app too, if you can, on like one of your smart devices, because that really helps you keep track. So like if you look at my phone right here, I have both the family app and the class app. They're both in the app store or whatever store you want to grab it from. So I know what my daughter is going to get assigned each day. And then I can see when things have been approved and what that looks like. So I'm going to walk you through the student version first, and then I'm going to show you the parent version, because like Emily said, there's a pretty large difference as to what that looks like, kind of like any other piece of technology when you're looking at different pieces of that. So I'm going to go ahead and share my screen now. Okay, so I am logged in first here as a student. This is my son, Von Miller here. And yeah, he's a big second grader here. But you can see everything that he has to do. This is what we call like the stream or the feed, and it works a lot like social media, is that when things are posted, they go to the top. And things that are undone from a long time ago are further down the list. What I tell my first grade daughter all the time is I want to see a clear feed at the end of the day. So when you submit an assignment as a student, they come in, they do the different pieces, right? So this actually has multiple pages that they can go through. So this would be like a social studies lesson here. They go through, do the pieces, they type in their answers. Right, they do it all and they turn it in. Always tell my daughter, hit that green check. That then goes away. So it's no longer in the feed. So as students add their response, it goes away. And that's the really intentional building this program for elementary kids that a lot of other systems don't have. So like we have a different learning management system for our 6 through 12, 12th graders in DPS. And it's just a lot more like in depth, and there's a lot more things to click on. For here, it's like I do it and then it goes away. And so the students just work through their feed, and I'm sure you guys have seen this at your homes as they're going through it. There's lots of different ways that students can respond, but for the most part, it's going to be these like multi-page activities where they can come in and do the different things on here and complete the activities. I do love some of the tools that are built into. I really encourage my daughter to do it all the time, is to do like recordings. So her first grade teacher is having them do handwriting every day because first grade, but she's remote. so she needs to do it on paper, but how does the teacher get that? So what she's doing is having them hold up their writing to the camera every single day using the camera here and taking a picture of each of their piece or recording a video as they're flipping through it. And that's really powerful to be able to include that. It's super easy. My daughter, when she was in kindergarten and got going with Seesaw the first time, was so easy. She just clicks on the camera there, you can hit record and it adds it in. It's very graphic based in Seesaw, so there's lots of very intuitive buttons and there's lots of color. It's very drawing the kids in. So as they are completing everything, it's going to move out of their feed. You also can see then when, say, something's not all the way done. So when a student has started something like this math lesson here, open up a draft here and you can see that this has not been turned in. So the student then can keep working on this one here. Where's my edit? Sorry, Zoom box is blocking my way. Edit, there we go. So I can do some pages here and maybe come back to it, and I can hit the draft. So that's like saving it, but it's not turning it in. And you'll see a lot of teachers that the last page, they'll actually put this little green check box at the end so that students know when they get to the end, they hit it. So we have a disconnect then that happens between teachers and students of just this green button right here. So make sure they hit that green button, and I say it like a million times because kids need to hear it. When you're done, hit the green button, and then that actually submits it. So we do have sometimes where students will partially complete something, hit draft, and it doesn't actually get submitted. And then you can see this right here as the finished response. So as a parent, if you're looking over their shoulder, you're supporting them, make sure that they are submitting these things here as they're finishing up the work as well. Another thing that's pretty common is if, say, a student does 2 of the 4 pages of an activity, they go ahead and submit that because they want to be done. Maybe they're frustrated, they want to take a break, so they tell you, oh yeah, I finished my math, even though they only did 2 of the 4 things. Then the teacher is going to actually return that work. And so that returned work to them is not all the way submitted and is going to be back in their feed and in their in progress. So I can narrow down to just the stuff like I'm working on or in returns to me by going to my in progress. My to do is just kind of like everything I have to work on as a student, but my in progress is like a good place to check regularly to make sure that your child is really getting everything in. Both folders, again, clearing the feed is really, really important. If your student is like really behind, say they have like 30 or 40, you might want to talk to the teacher and say, hey, what are the most important things? And then maybe we can talk about some of those other activities, a plan like going forward or something so that my child isn't overwhelmed. But it is a really big sense of accomplishment, like when my daughter gets to the end of the day and she's done all of her work on there. And I check that every day. When work is done, then you can see it here in the done folder. You can see what where it has gone, and it's going to appear in the student journal. So the journal is a nice graphic place that you can go in and you can see as a parent what the student has done, and you can flip through the pages to make sure that actually all of the activity has been done and the quality. So as we are supporting our children, you can flip through and you can see the different pieces and what they're actually doing. So I highly encourage you to check on this. Not only that the students have done their work, but they're actually doing it to the quality that you want, that your teacher is expecting, so that they're not just like scribbling one thing on a page or they're leaving things blank, but that you're actually following through on that. That's just holding our kids accountable. I know it's hard, like, again, my daughter's in 1st grade and it is really hard for her to complete all the work in the day. On Tuesday, she was at her little desk till 4:45 completing her stuff because she was taking so many breaks during the day. But we really held her to making sure that you get that. Yeah, we can go for a walk right now, but you need to get your work done. And when she got it all done, then we checked it over and she was able to go about the rest of her day. She went and played with her sister and stuff after that. So we want to hold them accountable, make sure that that is going on, and always making sure that you have that in progress for when teachers are sending back work that needs to be completed, because that can be a big thing. We do have stories fairly regularly from teachers that'll say, oh, the student just hit the green check like right away, like 2 minutes into class. They say that they, you know, got their math work done, but literally they didn't do anything, and they send it back, and then the student submits it again, and the teacher sends it back. So make sure that you're following through on that. Just kids are kids, right? Like my daughter tries to push the boundaries all the time, and so we just want to be there to support them and not to like hold them to fast things and stuff, but we want to be there to support them. So that's the student side. I'm going to pause for questions then before reaching the parent side.
Luke, one place that we were wondering today was
Yeah.
where can parents see teachers' comments or feedback that they might be writing on students' work?
I think I can just answer that. I've been so enlightened by this. I went to the inbox and the notifications, and I see so many things. And I'm a teacher, so I feel I should know this, but I didn't. All the comments and the work he sent back and asked her to fix, it's all there. She shows me the activities, and it'll be, 0. But then I go look at the notifications just now, and I was like, oh my gosh. Yeah.
Yep. So notifications is a great spot. The message center here too. So like you can see the messages from the teacher, which is me, on this fake student account here. And you can see all of the notifications here. And any comments specifically from the teacher will be in the journal if that work has been accepted. So you can see a comment down here at the bottom. Let's see if I have any of these on here right now. No,
where did you say that was?
So right here would be like one that I would have for a comment on completed work. And I'll show you guys again what that looks like from the parent's point of view, because that's really important. But the comment will come down here. Any teacher in the class can give comments. So that can be teacher, sped teacher, literacy teacher, para, whoever can give comments. And I always love to see those comments and make sure that you're really giving the students feedback on that. Our teachers work very hard to give what we call descriptive feedback. So make sure that your students are seeing that and reading that.
And tell me where that was again.
So this is in the journal for completed work.
Okay.
And if a teacher sends work back, so like this finished response here, and the teacher is giving feedback, the comment will appear underneath it as well. On their work. Sorry, let me open that up. So they'll have a comment. Oh, sorry, it was back on the draft here. So you'll see a comment at the bottom down here when something has been sent back. So like if teachers giving feedback, we do also have teachers that give feedback inside the box. So like they'll add a little text box and say, make sure to use complete sentences, or you didn't solve all the problems showing your work or something like that. They'll put a little comment box like on the side and identify themselves, usually, from Mr. Mund on there. So that feedback's really important to acknowledge.
All right, well, I'm going to just say this. I'm feeling a little bad as a parent right now because I have not checked all this stuff. So thank you, Luke.
No, you're fine. Man, my wife and I are both working full time, and we have a first grader, right? Like I feel it. I was in the middle of a meeting with my boss and my boss's boss today, and my daughter really wanted help with her math work. So like I totally get the struggle.
Well, I guess I didn't know how to check. And if I don't know how to check, I can't teach my parents how to check.
Yep, for sure.
I'm gonna send this.
This in progress really is like the biggest thing, because as teachers are sending back work, That's where we really want to check. Yeah. And then any of the like notifications and stuff here
Notifications
too is a
Right.
great spot to go to for the inbox.
Yeah, I just get those random emails that say Marnie has completed an assignment, and I'm like, oh, good. But yeah, this is very helpful. I wish all my parents were here right now.
Oh, that's why we were recording, so you can send it to them all.
I'm going to.
All right. Any other questions before we flip over to the parent side? Okay. All right. So when I come in for my students here, it's best just to go straight to the journal. The home will give you kind of like an overview of recent things that are going on, but doesn't really tell you the whole story. So you can see I have 2 children here. This is my real daughter, so I'm not going to show you her real work for her privacy. But here's my fake son, then Von Miller. So as I click on him and I have this open here, so you can just see my children, my class, and the example class here. This is then all of the work that my child has done. And in the app, it looks exactly like this as well. So that's my primary means of checking in on my daughter with her work, is that I scroll through the app. You can set up the app to give you notifications by email or in-app notifications, or neither if you want. I do in-app notifications, so I don't get like a million emails like every time my daughter has work approved. I like that in the app. So then at the end of the day, I do it. I'm blessed that my daughter's first grade teacher does almost all of her accepting of submissions. So like when something is turned into her, then the teacher approves it, and I get a notification when the teachers approve it. And my daughter's teacher does that at pretty much 3:30 every single day. So like at the end of the day, she just goes through and approves everything. So then I can see what Tora does every day, or in this case, I can see what, Von Miller is doing right here. So that process is really important too, is that all of this work has been seen by my child's teacher and approved by them. Work that is turned in by Vaughn and sent back to Vaughn, I don't see as a parent. So that's where I need to check the student app. I need to check my students' notifications and stuff. I only see the stuff that's approved. You really, especially in remote, should be looking for math every day and literacy every day that you have. So grading's not going to be done, or approving is not going to be done every single moment of every single day. So like at the end of Thursday today, I can't necessarily go in and see that my daughter has the work approved. But if I have something from Monday or Tuesday, I want to go in there and be able to see that work. So give your teacher a little bit of a grace on there to get it out. But make sure that for every day there are math and literacy, and then you'll see all the other things too of social studies. You'll see the social emotional work, all the enrichment work that we give the students as teachers. And so we're giving all this stuff out, but that math and that literacy every day are really important, that you're checking that you're being able to see that. And if you're missing things, say like, I don't see Vaughn has a math lesson here for the last 2 weeks, that needs to be my red flag as a parent, to say either I need to contact the teacher because the teacher is sending things back, or I need to contact my son and follow up. But we really want to be able to see that that literacy and that math work every single day for it. Teachers are really good about labeling like the day that things are due, providing feedback here so you can see that this teacher, which is me, gave my son Vaughn here some feedback down here at the bottom. Then what I hear from parents all the time, they love and makes a really big difference in their child, is a parent being able to come in here and give feedback as well.
Hey Luke, this is Jim. Do you mind if I ask you
Go
a
ahead.
question? So if I look on the journal, I have one daughter, Katie.
Yep.
She's in Mr. G's class. If I click on journals, I have the L4, which is the specials.
Yep.
Then I have 3 different locations that says 4th homeroom, and 2 of them don't have any posts. Is that just is that a glitch in the system, or?
So that would just be from scheduling, is that when when the scheduler was creating those classes, there was probably then like a change in the roster or something. And so your child was in them for at least a little bit, even if it was just like in computer land, like over the summer or something. That's why they would be blank. And you see multiple classes.
Okay. And then, okay, that helps clarify it a little bit.
Yep. Yeah, and in the journals, then this is where you'd see all the classes. This example is just in one class, but you'll be able to see all the classes in here.
Okay, that sounds great.
Yep. Good question. So as a parent, then I'm looking down through here. I want to see comments. I want to see work completed, and making sure that there's that math and literacy every single day. I can see kind of like some tags in here. So I can see this is tagged with a literacy assignment. As a parent, then I can give feedback very simply and just like it. And when I like that, then my child gets a notification in Seesaw that they got a like from me. So that's really important feedback that I love to use with my daughter, is that I go in there and I give her comments on her work. She sees that I'm liking certain things, and lets her know that she's doing really great things and that I'm really being present with her and being part of the work, because man, it's taking a lot of us to support our kids in remote learning, right? Like this is a total team effort. And I even love one of my teammates, her son is in second grade, in DPS as well. And her son loves to respond to her comments, and then the teacher responds. And so she sent me like pictures of like 7 comments long that her son is posting on there. I'm like, that is just so awesome to show that everybody is working together to support her second grader. It just blows me away. And she said that it really, really helps encourage her son, who can have a hard time, sitting down in a remote and doing like math work. But when he knows that his mom and his teacher are going to give him positive feedback off of that, that just like really gives him some extra motivation to do it. And I like it too, because I love to be able to see what my daughter does. She submitted a writing activity the other day where she made like a 3-minute video going through her whole writing. And it was the cutest thing in the world. And I needed a little pick me up as well. So it was fun to watch. So the parent view is pretty simple. And that's where I show you both, is so that you can see like the perspective of, you don't always see everything that's going on as a parent, like those returned things, the unapproved work, or work that hasn't been submitted at all. So you really need to look at like both sides. And that's where I said I have both apps on my phone, so that I can log in and I can get both views of that to really support my child. I'm not saying that's like a required thing. That's just, if you really want to be involved in and follow up with your child, that's a great way to do it, so that you see it. And then giving that feedback to your child and checking in with the completed work is really awesome, and provides just that extra level for our children. So this app is much simpler. The student app is where you get more information if you want to look over their shoulder, or turn their Chromebook around and stuff and be able to support that. And what you can do on your phone, that's the way I primarily do this. I think this is only like the 4th or 5th time I've ever logged in on a computer to the parent view. So any other questions about parents or student too?
Luke, what would they see in the inbox?
Yeah, okay. So the inbox up here is where you get messages. My daughter's teacher sends daily emails, and so I don't see messages from the teacher, but if your teacher does, you'd see all the messages here. And with our system in Seesaw, you can message back to the teacher and they will get that. One of the really cool things too about the message center is that it does translate into, I think they're up to like 38 languages now. So if you have another language that you prefer, you can set that as your default and it will translate back and forth. So the teacher will get it in what language that they have set, and you will get it in what language that you have set, which is really powerful as well. Thank you for reminding me of that.
Oh, so Luke, my question I put in the chat, but is there like, I don't know that I'm going to get all my parents to watch this video.
Good.
So is there like a quick, I don't know, like a slide that says, hey, do this, do this, do this?
Yeah, because there are so many like different pieces, it can't really like be distilled so much in a slideshow. So we have some videos that are made by the parent portal team and Face, but it's more like logging in and like checking things. It's not really like that comprehensive, unfortunately.
Okay, so is there a step-by-step to check the notifications? Because that as a parent to me was really helpful.
I believe there is. I'm going to have to follow up with Emily on that one.
Okay. That was really helpful for me to just be able to go in and look at that. So.
And if we don't have it, I can make it for
you. You're awesome. Yeah, that was the most enlightening moment for me tonight. Yeah. My poor daughter. She is, yeah, she's not happy right now that you taught me this.
Yeah, I think it's really enlightening to see the differences between what our students see and what our parents are seeing. And so parents, like we said, do download the app, the student app, so then you can kind of toggle between both. Luke, I really like what you said, that notion of clear the feed is simple communication with children, so they know that that's their charge at the end of the day, to clear their feed. And then there are some kids who have a long feed, but then thinking about what's the most important thing so we can get them caught up, because they may log in and see 30 assignments, and that just then increases. And so working with the teacher, if we can reduce that feed to get them caught up.
Yeah, for sure. And if your student's really far behind, contact the teacher, because the teacher can remove your child from like some things. The example I give is, if it was a social studies lesson from August, that's probably not so important right now in December. But if it's a math lesson from 2 weeks ago, that's probably a little bit more important. So work with your child's teacher on that to get them caught up. And then if you can get to that point of clearing the feed, it's a big accomplishment for kids. And it's a really good mindset for them to have.
Any other questions or wonderings for Luke?
Yeah, I got a simple one, Luke.
Yep.
Just going into my daughter's work. I see where we can comment on it. I don't see the like button, and we're trying to give her a lot of feedback.
Yep.
On that, I don't see the like button. How do we add that?
So it's right next to the comment button.
Yeah, it's not there.
Are you on the phone app?
Nope. I'm online.
You're online, so let me pull up my comments.
Thank you.
Are you looking in the journal here?
Yep.
Likes. Oh, you know what it is? It's probably that's a setting that can be turned off by the teacher. It's on by default, so that's probably why. Sorry.
Okay. Does that send a message back to the teacher if we like it?
No, it only sends a notification to the child.
Okay. All right.
Nope. Thank you for being an active parent. It goes a long way.
No problem.
Luke, what about the 3 dots? Like, what can parents do in that?
So this is something new that they launched in like August, is that you can print something. So if you want to, like in our household, we have things up on the fridge, like, yep, we're that old school. We have things that she's done, or you can like share it out too. Like, so if you want to send it to grandma or something like that, there's like some shareability with it. So if there's something that you really like, it gives you some options here.
I will say, sometimes teachers will send Seesaw posts, and so those links are really fun to get to see student work. So do share it with family members. This has been really helpful, Luke, to have the insight.
Yes, very helpful. Thank you so much.
You are welcome.